Happy Thanksgiving, newsies. Welcome to another episode of Get the Flick Out of Here. I'm your host, a turkey, and with me, as always, is a turkey. It's Kate.
I'll tell you what, Alexander.
You know what's a turkey? This movie was a turkey.
It was, and I don't mean like 3 strikes and bowling, okay? Which, yes, I do know that because there were 3 things to do in my hometown, and one of them was bowling. Right. Listen, much like you are appropriately dressed and I am underprepared, I feel as though I was underprepared for the viewing of this movie. Yes. But it, as you pointed out, is no fault of anybody but my own, because the jacket of it tells you everything you need to know on several different ways. Yep. But we've got some things to talk about with today's film.
This movie clocks in at a tidy 66 minutes. Hopefully we can get the review to around that time.
We would have to vamp a lot for that to happen, I think. It'd be a lot of vamping. We're going to talk about your hat a lot.
We'll talk about the hat. This is why you should only ever watch our shows in video format, because audio just doesn't do it justice. So the movie we are reviewing is entitled ThanksKilling.
Sure is.
I cannot stress enough how badly Eli Roth wanted this title to be available for his new Thanksgiving slasher movie that's coming out this week, because it's literally it's called Thanksgiving, which is definitely not like, that does not conjure up what the movie is about, which is about somebody who dresses up like a pilgrim and kills people. I'm sure he wanted it be able to call it ThanksKilling, but then these people wouldn't release the copyright for that title.
Why would they?
So yeah. By the way, Kate, did you hold on? This movie was shot on a budget of $3,500.
Okay, well that tracks.
Right. In the summer of 2006 and released in 2009. So that there was a lot of editing. There were heavy editing, a lot of reshoots, I'm sure. A lot of it tied up in legal with the studios. Studios clamoring over who was going to get to release,
of course,
this. It does feel like the dumbest people you went to college with got a hold of a camera and $3,500.
Somebody whose dad gave them $5,000 for the semester.
Like $3,000 of the budget went to making the turkey puppet.
Yeah, of course.
If you don't know, ThanksKilling is about a demonic turkey that talks, that kills a bunch of co-eds over Thanksgiving break. That is, I feel like that's it in a nutshell.
And it is based on a true story. No, I'm just.
It is based on a true story.
Alex, I will say this. It succeeds where Chopping Mall fails, and that Chopping Mall had no chopping, but ThanksKilling had killing in it.
That's true. That is true.
I'm terrified of you right now because I'm scared you're just gonna.
No, obviously you've been traumatized and you associate all turkeys with turkey.
Thank God I'm plant-based.
The name of the character, the turkey in the movie is Turkey with an IE at the end.
Yeah.
They were not all that imaginative.
Are you implying it's not extremely clever? Because I'm implying the opposite.
Okay. So the first scene of the film says 1621 in the olden days. That's what the first little title card says. And then immediately close up of a boob. Close up of an unnecessary boob. I'm going to go ahead and say D cup.
Sure.
A pilgrim lady running around with her boobs just hanging out. Like the rest of her outfit is intact,
Just her
but her
boobs.
boobs are just hanging out. And
Horror movie 101, right?
right. But I would also listen. I mean, usually in the horror movie, you see the woman disrobe.
Sure.
She peels off her top to go skinny dipping, whatever. Or it's implied heavily by the rest of the scene that she has been engaging in sexual congress.
Right.
This does neither of those things. It's just boob.
Just boob.
And then quickly after one boob, you can see that there are a pair of boobs. The DVD jacket for ThanksKilling does helpfully tell us that warning, boobs in the first second, and that is true. And and these are amazingly the only boobs we see in the film.
That's right.
There are
That is
there are no more boobs. No, just these.
Man, they really kind of let you down in that way.
Well, I mean, like I think if you put boobs in the first second of your movie, you're basically there is an implicit promise of boobs to come.
Yeah.
There's the further boobage later in the film. No, like it's you usually don't do all of it all at once at the very beginning.
And to your point, there was no seduction about it. I feel like usually that's the big thing with the horror movies is that there's like an unveiling of the boobs, and we cut to it in the first second of the film. Which, if only the jacket had warned us of, Alex. I wish there had been some kind of warning.
Mm-hmm. There is a phenomenon known as gratuitous nudity, in that it does not further the plot, and it's completely unnecessary to the character, the arc of the story, and thank God this is not that. So we see her running through the woods, being chased by an unseen assailant, a pursuer, and eventually she trips and falls, because that is the way of the woods.
Of course.
And she lands and turns over and sees a turkey, a very demonic looking turkey. It's a puppet, but it's a turkey. It's a turkey puppet. It's a tuppet. And the tuppet says, "Nice tits, bitch," and then raises up a tomahawk to attack said woman. This is 1621.
It was not at this. I did not know that this was going to be the greatest film of all time at this point.
No, how could you?
This was when it had turned into it.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot that. Yeah, it's 1621, and we're getting nice tits, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty quick out the gate.
Yeah. Not a verily thou dost possess wonderful teats, wench. Now, like they certainly is not part of the vernacular of the time. Nice tits, bitch, but that's what we get.
We're definitely gonna get demonetized for this episode of all episodes for this movie.
Of all episodes, this is the one for sure.
So distracted by your hat.
No, you should be. Honestly, that's what it's here for. So 5 college students are heading home for Thanksgiving. Where they all meet each other and we find out things about them is some of the most clumsy dialogue, acted so poorly. It's honestly, hey, you know how I have the habit, Kate, maybe even some would say the obsession of watching movies that we review more than once.
Yes.
Not the case with this one.
Not so much, huh?
No, not so much.
No.
Watched it once, said I'm good, and moved on with my life. But thankfully, the Wikipedia entry for ThanksKilling has a very, very detailed plot synopsis. So I will not forget any things that I saw. But it doesn't have the dialogue written down that these guys said to each other. I
can't believe you risked the lack of nuance with this one.
I know. So the first thing we see is Billy, who is fat and has a mullet and a chin beard. and wearing a trucker hat, and he comes out and immediately rips open his tank top to reveal his boobs. And I guess that's supposed to be like symbolism or juxtaposition, I guess.
It's definitely the symbolism that you think is symbolism when you and
Yeah.
3 other friends have $3,500 in college.
Right. Yeah. And so that we see also Johnny, who comes out and says, "Put away your tits, Billy. Nobody wants to see your tits." Okay. Is this like a commentary on? Oh, but it's all right to see the ladies' tits.
Probably.
Nice tits, bitch. But you wouldn't say nice tits to Billy, would you? Ah, I see. A double standard. Double standard much? The movie is definitely trying to tell us. I think. So so Johnny so Darren comes up. Darren is a nerd.
Yes.
You can tell it because he wears glasses and for no other reason.
That's what nerds do.
And he's like, "Wow, you're Johnny. You're the second string quarterback for the college football team, whatever, the Titans or whatever." And he's like, "I used to be first string till I got injured." "Yeah, of course. I mean, right. Anyway," he's like, "Hey, check out my muscle." Says this college quarterback to a guy he just met. And the other college student feels his muscles. "Wow, that's huge." And Johnny does work out, but I would not say huge. And then Billy says, "Hey, Darren, I got a muscle you can squeeze." He means his penis.
He sure does.
We also meet good girl Kristen. She's a good girl. You can tell because she's not the other girl who is obsessively trying to have sex with everything. Well, just Johnny, not Billy. Billy's too fat. She might with Billy, but definitely not Darren. Darren's a nerd.
No, not the nerd.
So it does feel like, okay, Billy and Johnny are friends. Johnny's never met Darren. Darren and Billy seem to be what the kids call ops in this particular. They do not seem to be friends, but at the very end of the film, we find out they're best friends. But the movie does not show us that in any way until the end of the film. And Allie and Kristen know each other but don't like each other because they both have the hots for Johnny. What I'm wondering is just how of all of these 5 kids end up in the same car driving home for Thanksgiving, if like a bunch of them don't really know each other or don't like each other. Yeah. Anyway, Allie is trying all the time to have sex with Johnny, even like while he's driving. Like it's very she's doing a lot of like, "Hey Johnny, I'll let you do whatever you want to me." A lot of that stuff. That's Allie.
It would seem that these archetypes were fleshed out without many layers, Alex. That's what my takeaway was.
Yeah, paper thin. These
paper
characters.
thin. Paper thin.
Yeah. So cut to, I believe, we're gonna do this a little out of order, but what a man wearing a very obviously taped on mustache, in a sheriff's outfit, sitting at the table, takes a swig of his coffee and says, "God damn, Karen," or whatever her name is, "this coffee tastes like shit. What'd you do? Take a dump in it?" Well, he's playing Southern, so "God damn, Karen, this coffee tastes like shit. What did you do? Take a dump in it?" And she says, "I did," and she shows him the coffee maker, which has a little turd floating in it. "I want a divorce." And she says, "Well, all right," and she leaves. And then his phone rings, and it's Kristen, the good girl, in the car. Says, "Hi, Daddy. We're on our way home. I just wanted to let you know we'd be home by tonight." "Okay. By the way, your stepmother left me. Bye bye." And he closes and he shuts the phone off. Unfortunately, she will not make it home by that time tonight because the car overheats. Johnny's vehicle overheats, and they have to. They obviously can't fix it at nighttime. That's crazy. So let's camp in the woods near the road. We have all of our camping gear, so let's do that. And in the car, they go around and say what they're thankful for. And Billy says to Darren, "I'm thankful your mom has the juiciest poon in town." And then Allie, of all people, says, "What's poon?" And this is the kind of dialogue we're working with here.
It's irreflective of how people would actually behave.
I would think, yes, that's good.
I'm not the youngest that I've ever been. In fact, I'm the oldest that I've ever been.
Most people are. Most people are.
But I can remember back to when I came back from college break, and I had some of these types of good old college shithead friends, and nobody ever talked like this.
Also, Darren says that this Thanksgiving break, I'm gonna do all of the things. I'm gonna do all the stuff that I'm gonna do all the stuff that you're supposed to do. I'm even gonna have sex with another person, not just myself this time. That's what Darren says. He announces this to a car full of people who barely know him. And this is the first time of 3 times. I would argue one of the times that this is said, it is just bad editing. And anyway, this is the first time that Kristen says to Allie, "Gosh, Allie, your legs are harder to shut than the JonBenet Ramsey case." Seems like an incredibly dated reference, but at that point, the JonBenet Ramsey case was only about 7 years old.
Even so,
it's
not a thing people say.
Also, nobody says shut the case. They say close the case. Why wouldn't you say your legs are harder to close than that? And also, what a weird insult. And also, later in the movie, Kristen says the same insult. R.E. Allie, while Allie is not in the car, and everyone laughs at it like it's the funniest thing they've ever heard, even though they've heard it less than 12 hours prior.
Yeah, for a movie that was this heavily edited, you might think that they would
have figured that part out.
I did pull the movie up because my notes are so sparse. Sorry, I'm trying to get to the scene by scene.
So while camping, Darren realizes that they're actually in Crawburg. You've never heard of Crawburg? It's a legend. 500 years ago, there was there's a folk tale about Feather Cloud, a Native American shaman who was dishonored by a pilgrim named Chuck Langston. Oh my God, Billy, your last name is Langston. I don't know why I never thought of it, but he's probably your ancestor. This never comes up again. It's not like the guy
does not get paid off.
Take out Billy. No.
I was just gonna say my notes are about to get back on track. Go ahead.
Now Feather Cloud used necromancy to put a demon spirit into the body of a dead turkey, who is said to appear every 505 years to slaughter all Caucasians he encounters, because it is the Native American spirit in the body of a demonic turkey. 505 years ago, notably, is not 1621. So they does he come? Does he only show up every 505 years, or does he show up more often than that? Or do you not know math? Because 2006 to 1621 is not 505 years. Did you set your movie in the future? You didn't? Okay, so it's mostly the not know math thing.
I'm gonna go with it's not knowing math. again, there are some plot holes that you pick up that are time or geographically related that I do not.
I mean, like
This one I
they
grabbed.
show you a date in the first scene on the
That part.
1621, and then later they say it's 505 years later, and that's just not the truth. So I don't know how anybody wouldn't notice that. That's
Alex,
just
not
me.
only do they show you a date, they then betray that immediately by
Yeah, they
talking
do.
about tits. So
Yeah.
that 1621 thing sticks out in your brain pretty vividly. And then here we are, not 505 years later,
Yeah.
to your point. There, like I said, I'm not like measuring distances between spots in California in the same way that you are.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this one,
That one even
also,
caught your attention, huh?
this one grabbed me. Yeah, this was not great.
All right. Good. There's a hermit. I don't even know if we even know his name, but he lives out in the woods. He's got a dog named Flashy.
Yeah.
And Flashy one goes out to do his business and urinates on a little mini totem pole in the ground, which apparently is the grave marker for Turkey. The turkey.
Of course.
And he comes out and goes, "Ah, piss, piss, oh, piss." He just keeps saying piss a lot. By the way, the voice of the turkey, is the director of the film.
Interesting.
Much like Kenneth Branagh casting himself in his films. Kevin Costner's doing that a lot. But yeah, Jordan Downey decided to give himself the plum role of the voice of Turkey, the turkey.
That's very impressive.
Again, so then
Qrkie, I believe.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Turkey the turkey. Yep. No, it's not. It would be silly if his name was Turkey spelled the right way. That would be odd. So he kills the dog. And then Oscar finds his pet and sees the turkey, and he shoots at the turkey. The turkey runs away. I'm gonna kill that turkey for killing my dog, Flashy. Now that is earlier in the day. Now at night, Kirsten goes off, I guess to relieve herself in the woods, and that is where she finds. Oh no, she's trying to find service for her cell phone.
That's right.
Because also this movie was released in 2006. It predates smartphones, so it is like she's got a Motorola Razr, and that is the height of cell phone technology. But the movie was made in 2006, so it is very funny to me that the movie is that old. It is funny. But she's like, "Oh, Daddy, I finally got service. Yes, we won't be home tonight. I'll be home tomorrow, though. I'm so sorry." And she calls her dad about that. But she immediately sees Turkey, who scares her. And then she runs back to the camp. I saw him. I saw Turkey, the turkey. Jaren was telling the truth. And it was like, that's crazy. There's no such thing as a necromanced turkey demon. They laugh it off. But then flying through the air and landing in the campfire is a baby rabbit. And Allie says, "Oh, it looks like a baby rabbit. He doesn't look so good. You think he's okay?" It is on fire in the fire pit.
It is. Yeah.
No, Allie, it's not. And then Darren looks at it in the fire and says, "Oh no, it's been disemboweled by a beak, a turkey beak." And I don't know if he majors in turkeys, like how he can, like maybe he's like bird homicide. What's it called? Oh, forensics. That's what it is. Bird homicide forensics. That's what Darren majors in. So he can tell the difference between a turkey beak and another beak when disemboweling small rabbits. But so they definitely know it. You know what we should do, says Johnny? Let's all go to bed. And Billy's like, yeah, that's what I want to do. I can catch some shut-eye right now, knowing that there's a murdering turkey demon out there. But everyone does.
Yeah, kind of without objection.
Yeah.
I also just for the stylistic perspective too, I did want to emphasize that like these shots are like the camera's like in the grass with the turkey and stuff. Like when we see the dog earlier, and the turkey, they're like this close together.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like it was shot on an iPhone for sure.
Right.
Like, and
Oh,
the shots are
yeah,
like
but
trying to
it
be
wasn't.
artistic and are not. It
It
wasn't
wasn't
because cell phones were flip
because they did not
phones.
exist at that point. So it was like a camcorder. Um. So they fixed their car and they're able to get back on the road because it's daylight now. So obviously, all car repairs can happen in daylight, but cannot happen at nighttime.
Of course.
So Johnny fixes the car and they drive off together. They're okay. They're all okay now. And everyone is dropped off at their different households. But during the same day, Turkey flags down a vehicle, and
Yes.
this is also one of those things that you and I talk about like two things: nobody being concerned about things they should be concerned about, and also
Yes.
movies that are like parody 40% of the time, but not parody the other time, the rest of it, and like you have to commit to it being a parody. So the guy opens the door for the hitchhiking turkey that can talk, and is not concerned at all that a turkey can talk, but also does say, "All right, you want to ride? It's ass, gas, or grass." And the turkey says, "Well, I don't have any money for gas, and I'm all out of grass, so I guess I'll just show you my ass." And the driver says, "Wow, that's a tight ass." And then tries to sexually assault the turkey, but the turkey turns around and the turkey's got a shotgun. I don't know where the turkey materialized the shotgun from, but he puts it up to the face of the person, says, "Hey, no, please don't kill me. I've got a daughter." And the turkey says, "Call her." So the man gets out his cell phone, his mid 2000s cell phone, and calls his daughter. And while on the phone with her, the turkey blows his head off and steals his car, which is a thing that happens in movies.
We did say that before we watched this. The one redeeming quality, the only way this was going to be good is if it was Velocipaster.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie at points wants to be, and then at other points
Yeah.
is not at all Velocipaster.
No.
So this was one of those. And I gotta say, not a bad acting job from the guy who's getting held up by a puppet turkey,
Right.
calling his daughter. He did all right with it considering the circumstances.
Yeah.
R.I.P. that guy. God bless.
But also, like, honestly, I feel like the girl's better off without this guy as her dad,
Yeah, that's probably true.
considering the first thing he wanted to do was
fuck a turkey.
sexually assault a turkey.
Yeah.
Probably so everyone is dropped off at their homes, and Johnny comes in to talk to his mom, and it turns out that he and his father are estranged. His father hasn't spoken to him since he lost out on the number one quarterback job at his college, which, if you recall, was because he got injured. And
Correct.
So his father, big sports fan that he is, won't speak to his son because his son got injured and therefore was demoted to second string quarterback. And so he's like, "Just go talk to him. I'm sure it'll be fine. Don't worry about it." Says the mother. "I'm gonna keep cooking in here. You go talk to your father." And he sees the father in the study, and he's like, "Hi, Dad. How's it going?" The dad like gets up and leaves and goes out to smoke a cigar on the porch, and goes, "I'm just gonna lie to him." So he goes out, "Hey, Dad, I got some good news. I'm the first string quarterback again." And the dad perks up with like, "Oh, that's such great news, son," and gives him a hug. And then the turkey shows up and immediately chops off the dad's head and says, "Hey, Johnny, go long," and throws the head to him, which he catches. And then Johnny tries to run inside, but it turns out his mom's already been murdered in the kitchen. So he gets in his car and drives away. And then we see Johnny. I don't know who. Not sure. Is it Lance? think that's his name, Lance Predmore. I don't mean to put you on blast, Mr. Predmore. You're probably in your mid-40s by now. You got a wife and kid, but Lance Predmore driving the car going, why? Why do they have to kill him? My dad, my mom, no more turkey, no more stuffing, no more mashed potatoes, no more cranberry sauce. It's just turkey. Only turkey. Why? And probably the worst acting job I've ever seen.
It's up there.
Yeah.
It's up there with The Room, I would say. You're tearing me apart, Lisa. It was all very
At least that guy's got the advantage of advantage, I guess. He's got the excuse. He's from a different country, and this is not his first language,
okay.
and but Lance, I feel like anyway. No.
A couple things. The turkey showing up with a cigar in its mouth popped me tremendously. And also, I did have to watch some of this part through my fingers, if I recall correctly.
He does saw the father's head off with a serrated kitchen knife.
He does, and the mom's eye is gouged out for some reason.
Yes,
I'm assuming pecked
obviously
out.
that is what happens when you have a turkey beak gouge out an eye, as opposed to other kinds of beaks.
See, this is what I'm saying. You understand this a little bit too well. But the let me play volleyball with my dad's head scene. Could watch that all day.
Yep.
The size of the dad's head when it becomes this volleyball that's getting ping pong to him.
Yeah.
It's like the size of a beach ball. It's incredible.
Yes.
And I just want you to know that I am such a sissy that I did have to.
No, obviously.
I'll be accountable for the parts where, whilst knowing that this was a homicidal turkey with a cigar and a serrated knife.
Yeah.
I still had to do this.
No, I gotcha. I'm still proud of you, though.
Thank you. As you said, $3,000 of this budget went to the turkey puppet. 500 of it went to fake blood, and it got me here.
I mean, it's some kind of weird rubbery sleeve, and the face looks all right for the money they spent, but it's just somebody doing this.
Yeah,
it's just literally somebody doing this, So it's not that great, but puppets are expensive, especially tuppets. I mean, turkey puppets even worse. So Johnny finds himself at Billy's house, and the first thing we hear Billy go is, "What? Anybody want to tell me why we're at my house?" And then nobody does, and it just hangs there forever. But Kristen's there with him, I'm so sorry, your parents are dead. That must be terrible. What are we gonna do? We're gonna kill this turkey. And Darren's like, we have to do it a specific way. There's only one way we can kill a turkey with this kind of turkey. There's a specific chant you have to say in order to kill the turkey forever. Otherwise, it'll just keep coming back. You can't just kill a demonic turkey. What's the chant? I don't know, but I'll bet you it's in a lot of books have been written about this necromanced turkey. We got to go to the library. Well, the library isn't open right now. Oh, my dad has a lot of books, says Kristen. Let's go find my dad. Oh, but first, wait, we're not all here. Where's Allie? I don't know. I'll call her. Wouldn't you know it? Allie finally found somebody who will have sex with her. It's a random guy with 2005 jeans, and he
2005 polo shirt and a 2005 hairstyle.
Yes, and a puka necklace.
Puka necklace. Who's going to have sexual relations with her?
Yes, and
with most of his clothes on still, I think, if I recall.
Yes, no, basically just his pants pulled barely below the hips.
Yeah.
For dogward style, I believe is the full.
That is the Latin for it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, dogward style sexualations on top of the bed, standing behind her, which is helpful because then she can't see that he gets his head chopped off by the turkey who's there.
Correct.
And then there's a lot of blood that spurts from the neck wound onto her back, and she mistakes it for a different kind of bodily fluid.
That is correct.
But then it's okay because the turkey is ready for round 2, and the turkey has sex with her. And by has sex with her, I mean he forces his breast plumage into her vulvar area. Like it's, I mean, he's definitely not having sex because that's not where a turkey's would be located. But the way that it's he's just forcing this part of himself into that but that's not. If you look at
there's
where I'm
nothing
pointing
there.
on my turkey hat, point on the turkey hat to where the turkey penis isn't, and that is right here.
There will not be there's nothing being reproduced here.
No. But anyway, she finally realizes that she's grinding up against a turkey chest and turns around to see the turkey, and the turkey just snaps her neck with its wings that have prehensile fingers on it, I guess, and snaps her neck. And so that's actually the best way to go in the film. A lot of people get horribly murdered by this turkey. She just gets her neck snapped. Honestly, it's pretty good.
I did say I appreciated like that the first guy got carved and she's getting her neck snapped. Like all the ways you would kill a turkey are the symbolic killings here, which is kind of
that's good.
It's an attempt at doing something, so good for them.
Yep. So they show up to go see, Allie there. They keep calling her and she won't answer the phone. And that's when Kristen does the thing again. Obviously making light of the dead, which is not nice, but she doesn't know that she's dead. This time she says it for the second time. Allie's legs are harder to shut than the John Belushi Ramsey case, and everyone laughs and laughs and laughs. A few minutes later, Darren tries to replicate the joke. And it is, if they hadn't done the weird thing where she said it once and then she said it twice, if she had just said it once the second time and everyone laughed, then Darren trying to do it later and the way he did it might have actually been funny, which is what because he can't replicate the joke, but he just knows everybody laughed at it. So he says, like a child trying to replicate the joke everyone laughed at, maybe he will get laughs. He says, yeah, her legs are harder to shut than John Benet Ramsey's legs. And no one laughs because that's not the joke. But anyway, they find her body, realize the turkey's on the loose, and now they got to go to Kristen's dad's house, the sheriff. There's no reason for him to be a sheriff, by the way. He doesn't actually do any sheriffing.
Well, the budget on that mustache is pretty.
Once you purchase the mustache, you got to use it for somebody, I guess.
Yeah.
And so she calls ahead. Hey, Dad, all those books you got in the garage? Can we look through them? Well, sure, sweetheart, whatever you want. And he hangs up the phone and he sees on the refrigerator, there's a best turkey costume contest tonight. I forgot about it. I better go put mine on. So he does, and it's at least as good as mine right now. And then he opens the door, and there is the turkey, and the demonic turkey, and he is wearing Groucho Marx glasses, which fools him, thinking it's a friend of Kristen's who's just on the short side. He says a word I'm not going to use.
Yeah.
But a little person who happens to be dressed up like a turkey that is a friend of Kristen's. Come on in. Let's have a snack. And eventually, I don't know why the turkey just doesn't kill him right away, but just waits until he mistakenly calls him a duck. And then the turkey kills him. And when this is also another thing. This is where the movie starts veering farther and farther into parody, but the movie hasn't earned it, and so it's immediately switching, so it doesn't quite work.
He's dressed up as a turkey, right?
Who?
Isn't this when the sheriff is dressed up as a turkey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
They're both sitting at the table having a snack.
Okay.
Well dressed up as a turkey, except one of them's actually a turkey. Anyway, he kills the sheriff. And then when Kristen shows up with her friends to look at books about how to stop a necromancer turkey, she is greeted at the front door by the turkey wearing the face of her father that he has carved filleted off the father's face, and he's wearing it, but it is far too small to actually be the father's face. I don't know if he did like a shrinky dinks with it in the oven or what, but it is far smaller than it should be. Anyway, he's wearing this face, and she mistakes the turkey wearing her father's face for her father. She says, "Oh, hi, Dad." Um, uh, and he says, "Oh, hi, sweetheart." It's like, "Do you have a cold? You sound different." No, it's fine. I'm fine. Just got a little frog in my throat. Okay, well, can we go look through the books you have in the garage? And the turkey says, "Okay." And then they do. And but everybody in the troop just accepts the fact that this turkey is the father, and nobody has that works in a parody of how stupid people are in horror movies, but this isn't what that is. It is from now on, but it wasn't for the beginning of the film. So
it also at no point, like, we had the internet. Like, we had like flip style cell phones, but at no point did anybody try and like just Google this. Like, I don't know why it was so had to be in the books part of it. Or that there wasn't even an attempt to look it up in any other way. But yeah, the acceptance that I've carved your dad's face and now I'm your dad is a reach.
Yeah.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is, of course, not just another human being. It is a turkey.
Yes. Yeah. So the turkey is trying to dispose of the body by dragging it through the house, and is the body of the sheriff, and is happened upon by Billy, who is there's a montage. Even Rocky had a montage. Even ThanksKilling had a montage. While they're all looking through books, and they can't seem to find anything about the what they need. While they're doing this, Billy is constantly eating.
Yes,
he's fat.
He's fat.
And then after that, after the montage is over, he says, "I'm so hungry." Well, then go find some more food to eat, Billy.
Yeah, Billy.
Doll. You're so fat, Billy. And Billy's like, "I'm so hungry," and he happens upon the turkey, and they all recognize, like, "Hello, Sheriff. What are you doing with that body? Oh my God, that body is the sheriff. You're not the sheriff. You're the turkey." And at this point, the turkey calls him a slur that is synonymous for stupid. And does that a lot with the kids because they are all very stupid.
Correct.
But they try and fight the turkey. Billy gets it in a headlock, but it is able to escape and run away. Darren finds,
crucially, it is still a turkey. Like, it's not a super. I mean,
it is.
But
it produces shotguns, tomahawks, knives, big giant axes from within its plumage.
But it is still vulnerable to what we know. Like, there's nothing that says it's impervious to guns, knives, bullets, etc.
No. Darren has found a book, though. It mentions that he can be killed if his magic talisman is removed, and not until the magic talisman is removed. And like, I haven't seen him wearing a talisman. Oh, that's probably because it says here in this book that if you can't see the talisman, that's because it's hiding in its plumage. You must find it in hiding in its plumage and remove it. Otherwise, he cannot be killed. Oh, but wait, the rest of this book is written in some kind of code. The rest of how to fully kill him is written in code. I know because I am a guy with glasses. I will find out this code by thinking very hard over the course of several hours. So Billy leaves the house to go find food. He's going to forage for food on the sidewalks of this town. And Darren is able to find out
a serial killer is on the loose, right?
Right. Darren is able to figure out the turkey must be burned at the stake after a demonic prayer is said backwards. That is the only way to kill him. So Turkey turns himself into a mirage of a fully cooked turkey, which then Billy runs to, picks up, and inhales as though it is smoke. And he's like, "Oh, that's such a good turkey." But then the turkey bursts out through his gastrointestinal tract, killing him from the inside.
We got to talk about the turkey mirage and the special effects of it.
Special effects.
I think they were like turkey clip art. And then they were like the first animation ever done to make something float. And it has like a halo around it almost. Like,
yes, it does.
not like a halo, but the whole thing is kind of enshrouded in a.
Yes.
This man.
No, continue, please.
It's kind of hard when the bobbing turkey is making me so scared here on stream. Yeah, again, I didn't love the part where I had to look at the dead body, but the turkey mirage, the quality is, there's a real differential in what the bodies looked like after they were murdered, which looked a little bit more realistic, and the floating, hovering mirage turkey that I guess he would just eat kind of off the street at some points of this, right? Like he just found this on the ground, basically. And like a moth to a flame was drawn to mirage turkey.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So they have to go and find Billy, who's been like he said, I'm gonna go and try and find some food outside. And they said, go for it. We'll stay here and crack the code. And then they realize, oh, the code also says that he is you have to find him in his teepee because he's a Native American demonic turkey. And if you don't find him if he's not in the teepee, then he's murdering one of your friends. He like reads it. If he is not in his teepee, then he is murdering one of your friends. Oh no, Billy! And so they get out and drive around to go look for Billy, and they find Billy dead on the side of the road. And Darren gets out again. All we've ever seen is Billy make fun of Darren and be mean to him all the time.
Literally.
Okay. So then Darren runs over to him and cradles him in his arms. You can't be dead, Billy. You're my best friend. My best friend, Billy. And then then the camera pans down to his horrible injuries and says, "You're all right. You're gonna be okay, man. Look, it's just a flesh wound. You'll be fine." And then he has a reminiscing song about all the good times they had. My best friend Billy and me, we had the best times together because we're best friends forever. I don't know what the song was.
It's basically it. Pretty much nailed
basically it. And it was just them skipping through a field, throwing a ball back and forth, blowing bubbles, just doing fun friend things.
Just very this again, that part feels like the parody.
It would be a great parody if the movie was a parody, but it is not.
It just switched halfway through, really.
It did. So anyway,
he's basically Squeak from Basketball, and then they just
They track him to his teepee, and they open it up, and he's there. He's there in his teepee. It's like, okay, well, they say the prayer, they're gonna say the prayer backwards. He's like, oh, this isn't gonna work. And then they say it, and it goes, ow, everything hurts, and they're gonna burn him, but he runs outside, and there is the hermit, Oscar, who shoots him with a shotgun and blows him up into the air, and he lands inside a dumpster. Wow. I guess we beat this turkey. Oh, I should also mention that Kristen realizes her father is dead and been murdered by a turkey. Her stepmother's left. I don't know what happened to her real mom. Johnny's mother and father have been murdered by a turkey, and they are totally cool.
They're fine. No trauma.
Like no. At one point, Kristen's like, "Let's go back to my house and watch movies because we killed the turkey." And at one point, Johnny's like, it's been a pretty rough night. My parents were killed, and your dad's dead, but at least I have a new girlfriend. And she goes, girlfriend? And he goes, yes. Would you go out with me? And again, if the rest of the movie's tone was like this, it might be funny, but it just feels so out of place now.
They decided halfway through it was a parody.
Yeah. Yes, that is what it is. So, but we can see later, like, oh, it's a good thing we killed that turkey and threw him in that dumpster. Cut back to the dumpster, and we see there's something on the side of the dumpster we didn't know. It says radioactive waste, which is only obviously going to reanimate the turkey. So, Johnny and Kristen start to have sex on the floor in front of the couch, which also contains Darren, who was watching the movie with them.
Not weird.
And Darren's like, I think I'll go to the bathroom now. And he just, which I thought was funny. And then he leaves.
That was pretty good.
And then he goes to get a snack in the kitchen. But there's the turkey. And the turkey pecks him to death. He uses his beak to cut out his heart. Rips his tongue out. That's what he does. He rips his tongue out with his beak. That was pretty brutal.
That's right. I was thinking of Billy's death, where he engulfed him from the inside and was poking it.
Out.
This was
and then this one is in. But also rips his tongue out. So,
do you see how much I paid attention to the deaths? Are you so proud of me?
I'm so proud of you, honestly. Johnny and Kristen are done with their lovemaking and have fallen asleep on the couch. But then Johnny gets up to go and see what's keeping Darren, and finds him in the kitchen, dead. And then the turkey attacks him with an electric carving knife and stabs him in the gut.
Yep.
Kristen shows up and slaps Turkey, because that's what girls do. And then she'd be able to get Johnny by helping him out the door. Come on, Johnny. It's okay. Don't you die on me. Please don't. Don't you die on me, Johnny. And she takes him to a shed. And then the turkey chases her there, but she uses an aerosol spray can and a lighter to create a little flamethrower to burn the turkey. And while Johnny dies of his electric carving knife wounds. And Kristen grabs a baseball bat or a golf club or something.
That's a bat.
And she goes, and then it flies through the air into a already set up funeral pyre, like stacks of big long branches stacked together to form and then he lands there, and the whole thing engulfs in flames. And Oscar's like, all right. The hermit guy is like, good job. And then
is that what happens, Alex?
What happens after that?
Isn't that we get them all praying around a table?
Yeah, well, there's different people praying around a table. Yeah.
With a haunted turkey people in the middle.
They're with a turkey, and the turkey comes to life. And then says, apparently the turkey's now it says, "Do I smell sequel, biatch?"
Crucially, again, this does not seem like another 505 years later.
Mm-mm.
So, was there a ThanksKilling too? Do we know?
There was not.
Oh.
However,
Was it because of the budget busting?
However, there was a sequel entitled ThanksKilling 3.
Okay, see, now I'm in.
It had a much bigger budget that was entirely funded by Kickstarter.
Okay.
Raised $122,000 on Kickstarter.
My God.
So I'm assuming the movie is 40 times better. Than
Which
the
would
original.
make it still real bad. I liked it when it started to be a parody, but it felt like two separate movies.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
Not good at all.
Okay, I have to run out to Party City, obviously. But point being, I'm glad it was only an hour, because I will say it didn't feel like a chore to watch in that sense. Like it didn't lag too much in any one spot.
Yeah.
It just was bad, but this is kind of a blast if you're into bad horror movies, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's if you can recognize that it's like it's really really bad, sometimes on purpose and sometimes not, and some of the parody elements are actually clever, except they belong in a movie that is a full parody.
It needed to be Velociraptor from the get, and it wasn't.
Right.
It was Velociraptor halfway through. And okay, when did the sequel come out?
2012.
Okay, because there are some things that we don't say anymore that they said in this movie, like the R word.
It was made in 2006.
Yeah, where people were saying a lot of things
like,
that they don't say anymore.
There's gay slurs. There's
short people slurs. There's the R word.
There's a lot of
right?
slurs.
Yeah, things that people don't say anymore. So just be aware of that if you go back and watch it, because it's refreshing.
Some people don't, but you should, and
you should. But it feels refreshingly out of place now. I would say it was weird to hear those things, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
So just be aware if you go watch it, because that definitely made me like, eh. But in 2012 they probably updated some of it, I would guess.
I don't know.
I'm not going to find out. I'm not going to.
I would assume that these people who made this are the kind who don't care about it even now.
That's fair. But in college, if you're saying those words versus in your mid-20s, it might be different. Yeah. Who knows? But I'm not going to watch it to find out.
No.
If you didn't even watch this more than once, you're definitely not watching to find out. Because normally you would watch the entire
Maybe next year we'll do ThanksKilling 3.
Because
there was a did you happen to catch the name of the production company that made this?
I did not. Stick around for that salient detail.
Well, that's the very beginning. It says Blank Films presents.
Who was it?
The name of the production company is In Broad Daylight, which is a great name for something that is a crime that is committed, and that was this film. People usually only use the phrase "in broad daylight" to describe something that is done bad.
Yeah,
a bad thing. Nobody says this amazing thing was done in broad daylight. You always say oh my God, he shot that guy in broad daylight.
He got away with that murder in broad daylight.
He robbed that bank in broad daylight.
They robbed us of an hour of our time in broad daylight.
In broad daylight, yes. In broad daylight films. Yeah.
Get it out of here.
Yeah. No, get it out of get it out of here. Get it out.
But if you love,
get it out of here. Get it out. Get it out of here.
If you love bad horror movies and you don't want to spend time with your family,
if you love bad horror movies, there are a lot better bad horror movies than this.
But not about Thanksgiving is my point.
But not about Thanksgiving.
So if you're feeling festive but you don't want to spend time with your family and you like bad horror movies, this might be for you if you're very drunk.
Yeah. It is available on Tubi. As is ThanksKilling 3. So if you'd like to do a double feature, There you go. I was concerned there was just that service was missing ThanksKilling too, but apparently there was no ThanksKilling too. They just jumped.
See,
right
that makes me think they set out to make something that was a parody
maybe
from the
it's better.
beginning.
The
Because
second one's better. Perhaps that is the case. Yeah, that's
happy ThanksKilling, everyone.
Happy ThanksKilling, everybody.
I have to go to Party City now because somebody showed me up with their cool hat, which I should have known because he had it last year. We made a lot of gobbledygooker jokes.
I'll have this every year. Are you kidding me? This is a family heirloom. I'm passing this thing down to my daughter.
As you should.
Are you kidding me? Like
that and Ricky Rainbow will be passed along. No, but get it out of here. But mercifully, we switch into what is my time of year, Alex.
Yeah, it is.
It's my time.
Yep.
But we will be. We have our own. Speaking of double features, to watch coming up.
Yeah, we do. But yeah, this is praying for my own Deathcember. It's coming up. Look out, everybody, for that. Until then, though, we'll figure out what we're gonna say watch next week. We'll say, get the flick out of here. Goodbye, everybody. Happy ThanksKilling.
If you want to see all our videos about real news stories that are funny, stupid, or weird, click the subscribe button below. Otherwise, we'll start posting spoilers about your favorite new movies.